Hello, welcome to this webinar from Career Pilot. This webinar is aimed at those people that are home educated within the Swindon and Wiltshire area, and we're looking specifically today at next steps at 16 and 18. This is a recorded version of the webinar that took place on Thursday, the 7th of December, 2023. Okay, so today for our session, we're going to be having a look at, first of all, thinking about what fires and inspires you. We're going to have a look at what your skills, values, and interests are and where they might take you in the future. We'll then have a think about what your next steps could be at 16 or 18, thinking about your future and plotting the pathway to get where you would like to get in the future. And then we'll have a bit of time then to plan your next steps to make that happen. So first of all, it's always good to think about what we mean by a career. So a career is an individual's journey through life, learning, and work. It's not just one job. It's not a straight line. It could be quite a wavy line, and it could actually include many jobs along the way. So really, if you have that in mind, it helps you to be a bit more flexible and adaptable when thinking about your future career. Ultimately, though, the career is all about you, and the pathway that you take is going to be unique to you. It's going to be your story. So in terms of how we can use Career Pilot to support this, Career Pilot is a website that's free access, and I'm going to show you shortly how you can make use of Career Pilot to do your research. But it helps you to find out about future jobs, courses, apprenticeships, different qualifications. There are videos that you can watch with people talking about different jobs that they do. There are different quizzes, activities to support your options at 16 and 18. And also you can find out specific information about future qualifications and pathways that you might be considering. So as I say, it's a one-stop shop of careers information at careerpilot.org.uk. So what I'd like you to do is to open a tab separately on your computer now and to register or sign into Career Pilot if you've been on Career Pilot before. The way that you will do this, you'll go to the homepage. So as I say, it's careerpilot.org.uk. And the top right-hand corner, there's a button there where you can register or sign in if you've already registered. To register, it just takes a few minutes to complete this short registration form, where it asks you to choose your school. As a home-educated young person in Swindon and Wiltshire, we've set up a specific group for you, which is called Home Education Futures Swindon and Wiltshire. So you should be able to find that from the drop-down list of schools on the list, and then you can attach your account to that particular setting. As I say, if you've registered before, as you may well have done, then you can simply just sign in. So if I ask you just to pause the video at this point and to register or to sign into Career Pilot, and when you've completed, you can come back and join the session. Okay, so once you've done that, you will be able to move into the homepage again. So if it should give you an option to go to the Career Pilot homepage. If you click on there, you should be able to see the page that looks like this. And we're going to have a look at the video. And there's a video that helps you to think about the different things that you need to do to get ready for your future career. So I have the video as part of my presentation, but to make it easier for you, I think if you jump over to your tab that you've just got open, click the video and watch it now. So just pause my presentation, have a look at the video, and then come back. Okay, so once you've seen the video, you will see that there are 4 themes that come out of that video. So the first one is about really knowing yourself. What are your strengths and values, subjects you're interested in? How can you do stuff to build your skills and experience? So what are the different activities that you're taking part in or projects that you're working on to be able to build that experience? Do you know all your options? That's the next thing. So you need to know what the different potential pathways are that you could choose to travel on and which ones are going to be best for you. And then the last thing is about using your supporters. So thinking about who are those people around you that can help you to make the right decisions at these different points in choosing which pathway to take. So just starting with know yourself. Really, this is about knowing what are your interests, what you're really into, what are your passions, what skills have you built up through the different activities that you've taken part in through your home education, And what values and strengths do you think that you hold as an individual? So there are different tools to help you to explore that on Career Pilot. So back on the home page, you'll see there were 3 sections there. There's Start With You, Explore Your Options, then Plan Your Next Steps. So knowing yourself is really about starting with you. So if you click on Start With You, you'll be able to then see the different activities to support you to really explore your strengths in a bit more detail and see where they might take you. So you could start with a subject, you could explore your values or what's important to you. You could also track and log your skills in the skills profile. So I'm going to take you through these just to have a look at them, and then I'll give you some time to explore. So strengths and values, this whole section here really looks at different things that might be important to you that would therefore be important to you in your working life as well. So for example, if you know that you want to be creative in your working life, and you might want to find out what types of jobs would be able to value that creativity and allow you to continue with that creative strength. Lots of different tips on how to do that, and different courses or videos, lots of different sort of links that might be useful for looking at how you can take that forward. You could also explore jobs related to your favourite subject. So if you know you're into art, for example, where might that take you? Or if you know you're into computing, again, if you just click on that subject, it'll give you a selection of jobs that are related to computing. You could have a look at examples of college courses, of apprenticeships and of degree courses, and all of the examples that we've given to you are in the local area. But obviously there are search tools for you to actually look wider than that as well. There's also a skills profile, as I say, so this is a really good opportunity for you to think about different activities that you've taken part in and how they've helped you to develop your skills. So you just need to complete the short quiz, which will then give you some idea of the types of skills that you've been developing. But then more importantly, you can add your own activities. So if there are activities that you've taken part in over the last couple of years in your own home education setting, you can add those in, and you can think about what skills they've helped you to develop. All of this is being banked for later when you want to apply for an apprenticeship or for a course or for a job. You can refer back to some of these examples of where you've developed the skills. You can also see how your own skills compare to those of a job. So if you know you're interested, for example, in going in to be a care worker, you could have a look and see what type of skills would I need for working in a care work profession, and then have a look at your own skills, and that might help you to think about which skills you might like to develop further. So all of that can be useful for you, as I say, for when you're applying later down the line. So as you're going through the site, the other thing that you could be doing is tagging anything that you're interested in. So that's the beauty now that you've signed into Career Pilot and have your own account. You can save anything that's of interest to you. So I'm going to give you some time now to go into the Start With You section and to explore start with a subject or start with what's important with you, your values. So we'll just look at those for now. And then we'll come back together. So if you'd like to pause the video now and have an explore of those sections and then come back, and we will move on. Okay, I hope you found that useful. We're now going to have a look at knowing your options. So thinking now specifically about post-16 and post-18 options. So you at the moment are here and you're thinking about what you might like to do in the future. And as we were saying, there could be several jobs that you might do in the future, but you might have a bit of an idea of the type of area you'd like to move into. If so, what's really helpful is to think about what you might like to do in the future and then track back and look at what are the different routes that you could take into that particular job or career. So that's what we're going to do as part of this session now. So we're going to be jumping ahead and thinking about possible jobs that might be of interest. So we've got a whole section on Career Pilot that helps you to explore your career ideas. So you're going to have a look at jobs. If you know you've already got a specific idea of a particular job that you'd like to do, you can simply search for it there and you'll be able to find more details about that particular job and the routes in. You could explore jobs by job sector if there's a particular area that you're interested in. So, for example, new energy, you want to work within green industries, that kind of thing. You could explore that from there. If you have no idea what you'd like to do yet, then you might like to take the job quiz, which just helps to give you some suggestions of job sectors, which you could then explore in a bit more detail. So once you're into a job sector, as you can see here, I've just shown you 4 here, but we've got 19 job sectors, and each of the job sectors breaks down into a further 3 subsections. So you can explore any of the job sectors you might be interested in, and it will then allow you to explore a whole range of job profiles within that job sector. Any of these job profiles you can then click on to find out more details about that particular job. So in this example here, we're looking in the animal job sector, and we're going to have a look at the animal care worker. So opening up the animal care worker profile, you can see here that we can already find out what sort of salary that would offer, what sort of working hours, whether that job is set to grow or not, which is really important to consider at the moment. There's a lot of change in the careers landscape, so it's a really good idea to have a look at whether it's predicted to grow or not. So for animal care worker, set to grow by 7.5% is the prediction for 2027. So you can then have a look at what you'll do as that job. So you can have a look at the day-to-day tasks, just a suggestion of the type of activities that you might do as part of that job. So you can think, is that something that appeals to me? Could I see myself doing that? If you think that's interesting, then you might like to look at, okay, well, if I'd like to do that, how do I get into that job? So this is where you look into the routes into the job. Anything that you're interested in, you can also click at the top right-hand corner to add them to your job sectors. So that will save them into your career tools. You can come back and find anything that you've looked at today again next time. So we're looking now at the routes into the job. And you can see this is really useful information here, because for the animal care worker, you can see that you can get into that job via a college course, an apprenticeship, or through volunteering. So you can have a look then at the types of college courses that potentially would help you to work towards that job, and also the type of apprenticeship as well. So it tells you generally what the entry requirements would be for each of those pathways, which hopefully will be useful. Now, when thinking about entry requirements in terms of levels of qualifications, I know it can be quite confusing. So again, on the homepage, you'll see at the top there's a button that's called qualifications. And this will give you an overview of the different levels of qualifications, academic, vocational, and work-based. So you can see how they match up across the different levels. So this is just kind of giving you a bit of a summary, but you can see the different levels here from level 1, which would be 1 to 3 GCSEs, going right the way up through, and you can see how they compare the academic qualifications with the vocational, and then the work-based route as well, all the way through to degree level. You can see with degree level, that could be achieved through a work-based route, for example, because you could do a degree apprenticeship as well as going to university. So different ways that you can achieve these qualification levels. So hopefully that's useful for you on the website to have a look at that, to look at what level of qualification or vocational course or work-based route you might be interested in. You can also explore then if you found particular courses or apprenticeships that you're interested in, you can find those here. Again, they are under the button that says courses, and you can see you can search for different courses, but also for apprenticeship vacancies as well. So these shows live vacancies that are currently available to give you a bit of an idea. You can also explore providers as well. So you can see what the local providers are and what courses they are offering. So it gives you a bit of a feel for the local landscape. We've also got information if you prefer distance learning routes instead. We've got information on the Open University and also on free online courses as well that you could also consider for building your CV or personal statement. So the next task that I'm going to give you now is to go back onto Career Pilot, and we're going to go and explore jobs, having a look for specific jobs. You can search by title. You can have a look at the job sectors, or if you're not sure yet, you can have a go at the job quiz. So take your time to do that and see what it throws up, see if it's useful. It's just a starting point for some ways into exploring different jobs. So once you've started exploring the jobs, I'd like to just look at a couple of job profiles and have a look and see whether the job is set to grow. Have a look at the day-to-day tasks, see what you would do, see whether it's of interest, and then have a look at the routes into that particular job. Write down a couple of possible routes into the job that you find out from there. So I've said roughly about 10 minutes, but however long you need, if you pause the video now and then come back when you've had a go at doing that. Thank you. Okay, hopefully you found that useful to explore your options. If you wanted to find out more about any of the options at post 16 or post 18, we've got a whole section here from the homepage called Explore Your Options. It looks like this when you open it. So you can have a look specifically at your choices at 16 or your choices at 18, and you can find out more information about all the different pathway options that you have there. So whether it's looking at the difference between a T-level and a BTEC, find out more about how to apply for an apprenticeship, or how to actually start looking for employment. There's lots of tips in there that should be helpful for you for supporting with your next steps. So today, we had a look at the beginning at exploring your skills, values and interests and thinking about what fires and inspires you and where that might take you. We've then had a look at jobs that might be of interest in the future and considered some of the routes into them as a way of exploring what your possible next steps would be. So the final thing then really is to plan your next steps to make that happen. So in terms of how we can do this, on Career Pilot on the main page, we've looked at Start With You and Explore Your Options, and the final stage is to plan your next steps. So you'll be able to click on there and you'll see that you can open up an action planner, and you can also have a look at your summary of anything that you've saved as well, which might be helpful. So the Career Tools Summary dashboard looks like this. So anything that you've saved or anything that you've completed is helping to populate this, which is giving you just a snapshot really, which hopefully was useful for you as part of your personalised research. But then what I really want you to do today is to think about what your actual next steps and to set yourself a couple of action points, or indeed 3 action points. So you can see there's a section there that you can open up and it says to add an action point. So that might be going to look at a local college and finding, putting what date that needs to be done by, or it could be researching apprenticeships, whatever the actions are that are relevant to you. If you could set yourself some actions and the date you'd like to get them done by, that help make sure that you support your next steps. Okay, so giving you some time for that again. Okay, so thank you for completing that. I hope you found the session useful in thinking about your next steps. Obviously, take your time to explore Career Pilot and look at all the different pathways that are going to be useful for you. There's lots of information on there that I haven't shown you today, so do have a good explore around there. So thank you very much and good luck with your research and with finding out the best next step for you. Thank you.